Hello everyone, and welcome to what could be a very scuffed session of Star Trek Wolf-Rayet, a Star Trek Adventure 2nd Edition game using the rules by Modifius Entertainment. My name is Elias the Game Master, and joining me are four individuals we'll meet in a few moments. The only thing I have to really say at the top of the stream is, much like yesterday's Event Horizon, I am running on a very scuffed setup right now, so if audio is all over the place, if video cuts out, if we have tech issues, or any gremlins, it's because something exploded in this very scuffed two-laptop setup. The other thing I would say is that channel point redeems are off tonight, simply because I don't have screen real estate to devote to it. So the players are both happy that they're not getting extra threat and sad because they're not getting extra momentum, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Other than that, let's go ahead and try to get started before things explode, starting with Caspian. Caspian, who you playing and anything you want to shout out?
Well, I'm playing Captain Lance Cannon, and I just want to get to playing. It's been too long.
Fair. Whiskey, what do you got going on?
I am Whiskey, affectionately the U.S.S. Wisconsin, as a gremlin battle cat. Today I'm playing Captain Meridian, the snake girl, chief engineer of the ship, whose size is entirely dependent on how big ELH wants me to be for the story today.
10 feet. I'm feeling right. 10 feet.
All right.
Oh, that's
10 feet.
That's some serious shrinkage there.
I mean, that's the same size I think as the end of the last episode.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, I think that it's not Q shrunk me back down to my statistical average.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right, he did.
Mm-hmm.
So what? 10 tall, 10 wide.
Something like that.
Words are hard. I am a statistical figure of height.
Nah, it's like the meme I posted in Discord where you're a wide snake, but you're impossibly wide. Where it's, imagine the widest room possible, and you're wider than that, and it's like a Cthulhu thing going on. I don't know. Maybe that's just me trying to make a joke. Who knows? Anyway, Kern, what do you got going on?
Well, I'm Kern, and I'm playing Commander Kishin, and I'd like to point out that we're not lovely individuals anymore. Because usually you introduce us with lovely players.
Oh yeah. Well, you know.
And you didn't tonight.
Well, rip that.
Out of practice. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Out of practice. That's it. We'll have to work up back to lovely.
Fix it in post.
Just splice the audio right there and just insert the lovely people. But yeah, who are you playing, Kern?
I did mention that I was playing Commander Kishin.
There you go. All right. Maybe I misheard it.
Zaranite.
All right. Well,
Commander
Kishin it is. And then last but not least, Food Cube. What do you got going on?
That was a cute sound.
that was a squeal.
A squeal and a greeting. I'm Food Cube. I play Lieutenant Mintz, the chaotic, violent Romulan pilot.
All right. And with that, we're going to try to run the intro video. If things explode, I've already gone over it, but let's see what happens. And welcome back. So it has been about 34 days since we played last, but Cube has said that they actually do have a log for us. So Cube, why don't you give us that lovely log?
Yeah. Helmsman's Log, Stardate Supplemental. We are currently investigating the sudden appearance of a nebula approximately light year in size. Suspiciously, there weren't any stars previously besides the usual emptiness of space. Additionally, the replicator is failing to make proper coffee. Unfortunately for the rest of the crew morale has taken quite a hit. Not me, I'm more of a Califal lumen myself. Although I may be forced to share my own personal stash at some point. End log.
Very nice. You may have a momentum for that lovely opening log.
Yes!
And as Cube alluded to, as Mitz in character alluded to, the Wolf-Rayet is seen approaching a collection of interstellar gases, colloquially, I can say that word. It's known as a nebula.
Wow.
Yeah, it's known as a nebula. And this particular nebula happens to be a collection of yellows and greens, and it's about a light year in size. But the main kind of thing, as Mitz said, is that this nebula wasn't here a few weeks ago. In fact, there were no stars in this area that would have exploded and created a nebula. This, quite literally, is someone has taken a nebula and just put it there, like a copy-paste operation. All of you are on the bridge, and the ESH, the Emergency Science Hologram, is just kind of sitting there staring and going, well, I don't know what to be telling you. As far as I can tell, is standard hydrogen, helium, and other interstellar gases. No clue where it came from. Sensors are just as much in dark as we are, but it is indeed a real nebula, not holographic projection. I think we might have to be going in, Captain.
Wait, we can feel the enthusiasm.
Well, the captain's not had his coffee for a few days, so he's
Captain,
his
is there
usual
coffee in
jovial
that
self.
nebula?
You're the engineer. You tell me.
You know what? Good point. Let me get on the scanners and deduce this. ELH, I would like to detect if there's coffee in that nebula.
All right, well, I think that's probably a reason and a science, assisted by the Wolf-Rayet's sensors in science, at a difficulty of 0 to just give you some momentum.
Alright.
And remember, whoever rolls the Wolf-Rayet, it does have advanced sensor suites, so make sure to roll 2d20.
Alright.
Sensors, science, form task. 2.
Can
Always
I
using a focus.
thoughts on power systems for focus?
No, I mean, coffee is a power system for some people, but no, not in this instance.
Okay.
All right, well, that's 4 successes, so you're up to 5 momentum. There you go. You don't need chat giving you momentum. You're fine. Well, I mean, Meridian, the nebula does have helium and hydrogen and all the other elements that you could want to take in as raw material to then replicate coffee, but literal coffee, not so much. And
Captain, there may as well be coffee in that nebula.
Yeah. But the one thing I will say is that it is very much as the ESH said. It is, aside from the fact it literally just appeared out of nowhere, it is a standard nebula.
So it's definitely not an alive nebula.
So you only say that when it might be an alive one.
Well, okay. Are you
Me
came to
over
that
here-
conclusion? Is this thing?
I don't know. Don't worry about it.
All
I'm
right.
sure nothing terrible will happen at all as we enter that nebula.
All right, take us in. Let's do a usual sensor analysis for a random nebula and learn all we can learn here.
Actually, can we get some information on radiation? Do we need the shields up?
So what I will tell you is that this is a standard, again, as far as sensors are able to tell, this is a standard Class L nebula, which means that you will need shields to be up in order to deal with the radiation. But if shields were to fail, all the radiation does is kind of knock out life support. So technically, if you go in there, you lose shields, you maybe have about 20 to 30 minutes of breathing before life support is dead. But just something to keep in mind overall.
I'm sure we'll
Is
be
it
fine.
So would it be possible to shield the the life support system?
That's including the shielding on the life support. Or do you mean like adding additional shielding
A-
to it?
Adding additional shielding, yes.
I don't know. That sounds like a snake question.
Yeah,
It's a,
I think I can make
yeah.
it work.
All right.
I can.
Can we spend 2 momentum to make a trait that we specially shielded the life support
Life
systems?
support system. Yeah, that's
That's
a good
actually
idea.
what I was about to say. You could either spend 2 momentum or you can make a roll for it.
We'll just spend the momentum.
Yeah, sounds good. We're
Alright,
pretty
and
high on it
that-
already.
Shielded life support systems. Give that a 1. All right, you've got your shielded life support systems. Yay.
Yay! And I did my job to secure the ship.
Good job, Mr. Custom.
Turn on the shield now.
Okay. So, my next question is, as you are entering into this nebula, I'm assuming you are going at like impulse power, thruster power, something low power. You're not like full on barreling into the nebula, yeah?
No,
That's
we're not
entirely a
proto-warping
Mitz
into the
question.
nebula.
So, Mitz, how fast are we going into the nebula?
I'd say slowly, safely, not to not aggravate anything that could be in the nebula.
Okay. So, we see the Wolf-Rayet, the shielding pops up, the polarized shield array and all that lovely esoteric technology that only the Wolf-Rayet really has. Everything pops online, you enter into the nebula, and there's no turbulence. It's not like if you were to fly into a cloud in real life, where you'd be buffeted by the flows of air and water and everything else. It's eerily smooth. In fact, if it weren't for the evidence of your eyes and the sensors, you wouldn't even know you're in a nebula right now. It's uncannily smooth. But after a moment, as you all are watching from the open to the elements bridge, as it is on the Protostar class, the gases begin to recede. And eventually, you end up flying above what appears to be an expansive green jungle landscape. Now, according to your sensors,
Okay.
this jungle isn't there. But you are seeing vibrant greens, vibrant blues, vibrant purples. It is, to borrow from another franchise, it is like if somebody took Pandora, the Aliens movie, that one,
Yeah.
and then just made it even bigger. And I don't mean like 1 to 2 times bigger. I mean like maybe, I don't know, a light year big, if you get my meaning.
Wow.
Way bigger than they can possibly fit in this nebula.
Correct. Well, no, I should take that back. It's just big enough that if the nebula were to be considered like a surrounding outline of it, then it would fit.
I think we're all going to look at each other and then look to the emergency science officer who didn't tell us there was a jungle inside this nebula.
Don't look at me.
That's the
I'm in just
nature
as
of the
much in the dark
scientific
as you are.
emergency. Huh.
And yet you're full of light. You're literally composed of light.
Yeah.
Now,
All right, can we
because
get
I
some
have
scans?
threat,
Wow.
because I have
You do?
threat,
Who gave you that?
I'm going to spend 2 of it
Oh no. That's a
Uh-oh.
lot.
to say that as you're flying over this seemingly endless expanse of jungle, what's going to happen is several creatures, in fact, are going to fly up to meet the Wolf-Rayet. And I'd like you to imagine the pterodactyl, standard flying dinosaur, but it has been merged with 2 terrifying creatures. The first is a Canadian goose, already terrifying as it is. The
Indeed.
second is something on the line of like a great white shark. So imagine a goose, a pterodactyl, and a great white shark combined into one. It is absolutely terrifying to look at. But this group of 3 immediately tries to scratch the paint, tries to get on to the Wolf-Rayet, and we're going to enter into a little bit of a structured challenge. where we're just going to see how you deal with these creatures before they potentially breach your shields.
So it's a bunch of these creatures that look like all three of those things combined?
Yes.
How big are they?
They are roughly the size of your nacelle. So they're big.
Oh shit, they're big. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to
Captain?
configure I'm going to figure the phasers to the stun setting.
Okay.
I'm gonna just like push the red alert button because that is incredibly disturbing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and the
Mitts
best
and
part,
evasive maneuvers.
I forgot the best part. They also make the most terrifying honking noises as they're doing this. So, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
like
God.
like these. Nice.
But it's the kind of honking where already a Canadian goose honking is already very terrifying. But now it's like it's like somebody has taken that the microphone and put it too close to the goose's neck, and then they've added a lot of reverb and maybe a bit of sonic tweaking where they take the voice levels and just ramp certain parts of it up. So it's like a Cthulhuism as it were.
I
Nasty.
just remembered we have a completely functional phase cloak.
Mm-hmm.
I completely forgot we had that.
Yeah.
So that's fun. That's fun to remember.
Call that Plan B.
Yes.
Well, right now, Mitts, Keshin, would you please dodge these creatures and then stun them? We don't want to hurt them, but don't scratch my boat.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Let's see if the stun setting works.
All right. Well, in order to line up your shots, we are going to need to see a little bit of fancy flying on Mitz's part. So, Mitz, I'd like you to give me a daring and a con, and you will have multiple focuses here that apply. I'm just looking through your talent since it's been a while. Well, you do have bold cons, so if you do give me a treat, you do get to re-roll one of your dice. I think that's all that applies. Yeah, that's all that really applies to this instant. But this is a daring con, and it is opposed. So it starts at a difficulty of 1, and however many successes you get is what I have to beat.
And does the
I
ship
will
involve? Does
give
the
you
ship
a
insist
treat.
and all that?
So I'll take the treat, and then as far as the ship assist, the ship will assist with an engines con.
Engines con. Okay, I'll roll for the end the ship.
Oh,
Doesn't matter because Mitz. Well, so Mitz, you should have rolled 3d20s. So roll me one more dice, and then you can re-roll one in your pool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
so
there we go. Wow.
There's your 2.
Wow.
Okay, so you're up to 3. And then do you want to re-roll that 19?
I'll re-roll it. I'll re-roll it.
All right, so
Damn
hey,
it.
at least it's not a 20. All right. So
That's it.
my difficulty to beat is 3.
Yep.
I think I'll spend 3 threat because I want this to be interesting to give them 4d20.
4 dice. Yeah.
That's not a good roll. Let's expand out that 68.
That's
That is
a big
a whole
number.
lot of nothing and a complication. Okay. Good job there, Mr.
Wow.
Dinosaur. Well done.
It freaking has a heart attack and just flops over
Well,
dead in
takes
space.
So here's what happens is Mitz, you get the Wolf-Rayet going into a barrel roll, maybe a few loop-de-loops, maybe a cobra maneuver, various sort of fancy flying, as it were. But what happens is as you are fending off the sallying and the thrusting of these unnerving creatures, is one of them tries to get in front of you and you just run it over. Like you just straight up just hit it with the front of the ship and it goes spiraling over the bridge down into the jungle below. So now you'll get to deal with 2 of them.
Little windshield wiper pops out, it's like scraping it off.
I want to pull up on one of my fancy holographic view panel and grab a camera and see if I can see it collide with the jungle or if it phases through it.
It does appear to collide with the jungle. There is an appropriate amount of damage to the environment as it falls.
Ah,
I relay this information.
interesting.
Probably don't want to crash into it.
But now, Mr. Keshin, I believe you have some terrifying dinosaurs to shoot.
Stunning, yes. Stunning.
All right. Well, since I failed so badly with a complication, you're rolling me a control security assisted by the ship's weapons security at a difficulty of 2.
Do I have a focus that applies? That's a question.
I would hope you do.
Energy weapons. Energy weapons. Oh yeah, shipboard tactical systems. And is there a difficulty for the shooting these
Difficulty of 2.
creatures? Okay. So I do have a focus. Oh
Wow.
There's a burst.
So, unless you want to spend determination to re-roll that, I think you just miss.
I missed.
All right. So, just like we see sometimes on the Protostar class, we see these little turrets pop up out of the hole and start firing stun bursts at these creatures, but the shots either go wide because the creatures are too nimble, or Mitz's fancy flying is just too good and throws off
That's what I was going to go for. That's what I was going to go for. Mitz zigged instead of zagging.
Okay. Well,
Excellent warning shots.
yeah.
Yes. Across the bow.
So now I am going to roll an attack for both of the creatures because there's only 2. I'm not going to give them any additional threat, but I will tell you I'm rolling under a 10 on each of them. So let's expand that out. That is only 1 success for the first one. Oh, that could be bad. That is 2 successes on the second one. So what that's going to mean is the first one opens up its maw, and inside are just so many rows of teeth and just so unnerving that I'd like to imagine, Mitz, as you see that, you're like, nope, and you send the Wolf-Rayet barrel rolling off to the side. However, the second creature is anticipating this reaction, and as it lines up a shot, what comes bubbling out from this creature's mouth is like a lance of just caustic chemicals. And yes, it's literally vomiting on you, is what it's doing.
Oh, gross.
So the Wolf-Rayet is going to take 4 shield damage. But that's all. Your polarized shields hold, your life support systems are still working, but you do take 4 shield damage from that attack.
Okay.
Does anybody remember the name of that ensign that we were memeing on last time?
Nope.
We'll find it eventually.
Yeah, it is the player's round again. Which of you would like to go
That's
first?
what I was going to say. Let's try that again.
Okay.
Yes, enough warning shots. Let's actually hit one of them this time.
Focus.
Well, that is a significant
Oh, wow.
change. And the ship can still roll a weapons or weapons security to assist you.
Wow. Weapons security. Yep. One. Focus.
All right, no help from the ship, but still something. So you do get 2 momentum back for your trouble, bringing you up to 5. And yeah, as far as I remember, you have both phaser rays and pulse phaser cannons. Do you have a preference for which one you're using?
Well, let's go with the pulse phaser cannon.
Okay. Well, the reason I ask is because they do have spread, and they do have versatile too. So what you could do is you could spend the versatile 2 to basically do an area attack and hit both of the creatures at once.
That sounds like a plan.
Okay.
I think it was Ensign Reed.
Was it?
That means
yeah.
That means. Oh, I think that's what it was. Yeah. So do we need to spend 2 momentum? Basically, is that what versatile 2 does?
No, so versatile 2 is basically 2 floating momentum that you get whenever you use that weapon.
Oh,
So it
okay.
doesn't require you to spend your already existing momentum. This gives you
Right.
basically 2 momentum to just immediately play with as you wish. That's
Holy
how they
shit.
balance phaser weapons over something like disruptors, which have piercing or vicious in the first
Mhm.
edition. Things like polaron phase beams, which definitely have piercing in second edition, that sort of thing.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so what happens is this time, Keshin, you are much more in tune with Mitz's steering, and you
Uh-huh.
fire out a quick trio of shots. You take down both of the creatures. They both are stunned and fall unceremoniously into the forest below. And for the moment, you're in the clear.
There you go. Cool.
Good shooting.
Forest Nebula. Didn't have that on my bingo card today.
Hmm.
Is there
Or
anything we can
whatever we call
see
those.
in this force that may be a point of reference or a point of interest?
Yes, in fact, there are many points of interest now that you're not being beleaguered by whatever the heck those creatures were. So
Hmm.
you're seeing very large mountains. You're seeing the legally distinct Pride Rock formations everywhere. But what really catches your attention isn't so much the rock formations, but the those be dinosaurs, except they're alien dinosaurs. So imagine big old Brontosaurus mixed with a T Rex mixed with some kind of a whale. So you're looking at a very very wide creature is what you're looking at
With big teeth.
with big
Impossibly
old
wide?
teeth. Yep.
Yeah, I don't think I want to get out of the ship here on this one.
Yeah. Really.
I think we're
Yeah, this
staying
is
in
a
the
scan
ship
from a
today.
distance kind of thing.
Yeah.
Admire from afar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want to find something capable of swallowing our ship whole.
So, any technology on the sensors or?
It's a
Again,
great
as far as
question.
sensors are able to tell, there ain't a jungle here. I mean, obviously you can
Okay.
see with the evidence of your eyes that the creatures you just knocked out did appear to cause damage to the forest. But again, the
Hmm.
sensors of the Wolf-Rayet are just like, what forest? I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Did our weapons react as if they were hitting solid matter in a way that would indicate very clearly that nothing is an illusion?
Well, that sounds like an excellent role for you to make. You might want to have Keshin assist you here, or you assist Keshin. I'll let you two decide.
Okay.
Well, it depends on the roles
Meridian,
there.
you are doing a insight engineering on your part. Keshin, you're doing an insight security. Difficulty of 3 on this one.
Okay.
My insight is not very good. How's yours?
9.
How's your whatever? Yeah, I'll assist you.
Okay. I'll do the main role. Um. hmm, Using sensors. So I don't think I have a focus for that there.
Feel
Nope.
free to use a momentum if you need to.
Oh, we've got an assist there on top there. So.
Focus
Uh.
of subspace mechanics.
I'll give it to you.
Okay. So at least we got one there, and then yeah. So use one momentum to get an extra dice there for me.
All right. Okay, 5
Oh.
successes, meaning you get up to 6 momentum and you are capped for the moment. So,
Hmm.
no, it's very interesting. When you go back to look at the actual logs of the weapons, as far as the weapons were concerned, you were just shooting random spots in the nebula. Like, it wasn't actually hitting anything. But again, the evidence
Okay.
of your eyes told you that you hit something and that something fell into the forest, which doesn't exist.
Alrighty then. Okay.
So
So
then did we
I've got mental discipline.
Okay.
I'd like to sort of get into that mode there where, meditation there and see if, somebody's fucking around with my brain, use my
Okay.
language.
Do we make this a roll? No, you've got 6 momentum. I'm just going to tell you. As far as you're able to determine, Keshin, no one is actively messing with your senses. No one is actively messing with your mind.
Okay.
and did the ship act did our shields like actually register as taking damage?
They did, which is the strange part. Because it doesn't register that a chemical lance hit it. It just registers that shield grid that got hit suffered a bit of power loss.
I'm gonna go perform diagnostic maintenance on that shield grid.
Okay.
I have a question. When Mitz ran over that one shark, did the ship rock like we hit a thing? Or
Nope.
did it have mass to it?
Nope. The ship just kept on sailing through like it was a knife through butter.
Hmm.
But again,
Intriguing.
evidence of your personal senses. You saw it get hit. You swear you heard something like something colliding with the ship, but the sensors recorded none of it.
So when we're staring out through the literal glass at things, we see real things. When the things hit our ship, things happen to the ship, but according to our sensors, nothing is there. And if I look at the cameras, it looks as if it is there, the same I would look at my eyes. Right?
That is correct,
Correct.
yes.
I
Very
want to
intriguing.
ask the computer to analyze and tell me what it sees on the main display right now. I activate the holographic main display that we can activate, and I say, computer, analyze the contents of the main display.
Okay.
Like I want to physically show the jungle, and I want the computer to tell me either whether or not it's seeing the jungle or if it's saying there's nothing there.
Interesting. I'm just debating how to handle this, whether to make this a roll or just to have it happen. Let's make it a roll. This
Okay.
time it's just going to be the Wolf-Rayet rolling, a little bit of a non-standard roll here.
Oh, right.
The Wolf-Rayet is going to be rolling a computers and a con.
Okay.
And the Wolf-Rayet does have a focus because it's a ship, so it always has a focus. I am going to say that the Wolf-Rayet is at a difficulty of 4, though.
Is this a sensors?
No, this is purely a computers.
Computers. Okay.
Can we
Wow.
spend momentum for the ship to roll?
You certainly can add momentum dice used for the ship, yes.
I think we should. We've got cap to begin with, so we may as well.
Yeah. But how many? 2, 3. If it's 3, that's all the momentum we have, and if it's just 2, then it's 3.
So wait, if the ship is the ship rolling 1 dice by default right now, or 2 dice by default?
2d20 by default.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just like we do for Trinity on the Trinity game, where
Okay.
if it's a ship-specific roll, the starting roll for the ship is 2d20.
Oh, okay. I didn't know this. Okay. So
I say we add at least a third. We should, and I'll hear arguments from the rest of the team on if we want to add a 4th dice. That's my thought.
Well, remember, it is a difficulty of 4, and you can mix and match momentum and threat to pay for meta currency.
That's true. Do we want to roll 4 dice?
Yeah, do 4 dice.
It's a gamble.
Yeah, but one way or another, we'll get some useful information, I feel like.
All right, ship. Wow.
That is a significant number of successes.
Wow.
You managed to get 2 momentum back for your trouble. So the Wolf-Rayet's computer, which I'm just going to say is Janeway coded because, of course, obviously Prodigy, we saw Janeway, the hologram.
Right.
But a Janeway voice, like Janeway herself doesn't manifest as a hologram, but a Janeway voice says, that appears to be a standard Class L jungle. Unfortunately, I cannot tell you why it is not registering on my sensors. But as far as I could tell, you could conceivably go to such an environment, but the fact that I can't see it on my sensors, I can't advise you actually leaving the ship.
Fascinating.
But if that wasn't unnerving and weird enough, I'm going to spend 2 threat to say that moments later, all of you get this on your consoles. You're receiving a distress call.
Okay.
Oh,
What kind of distress call?
Well, that's the funny thing, is that it's one of those classic Star Trek tropes where the message doesn't come through all that clear, but you do at least get a set of coordinates, and you do get a garbled message with the universal translator does say contains a few words, and those words are help, crash landed, need assistance, please help.
Well, we're duty bound to provide assistance, so
indeed
Indeed.
we are.
let's go see what we can do to help. But everybody on their guard here. There's something going on. I don't like it.
Yep.
Now, one thing I do want to highlight is that Mitz is navigator. Mitz, would you be, I don't know, looking at those coordinates very carefully?
I'd like to see.
You know, I
The
think we
answer
all
was
like
yes.
having vision.
Yeah, the
Yeah, I'd
answer
like
we're
to
looking for is
see.
yes.
The answer is no. I actually flying with my eyes closed.
That's it. I put a blindfold on and I'm flying that way.
I actually am going the other way of the coordinates.
Of course.
I mean, stranger things have happened. That's why I asked.
Oh, indeed.
All right, well, Mitz, since you are the Wolf-Rayet's navigator, no roll required. The set of coordinates that are in that distress call, it's that Pride Rock, legally distinct Pride Rock over there, but there's some big old alien dinosaurs surrounding that rock.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Can we get a
Go stun
description of the big old
Let's
alien
go stun those
dinosaurs?
monsters.
The big old
Well-
flying, big old walking, big old swimming.
So it's a combination
Teleporting?
thereof. So there's still that Brontosaurus and whale and T-Rex combination. There's that one. I'm just going to call it a Type A. So you have a Type A. Type B would be the flying creature you dispatch. So we have Type A, we have Type B. Type C is somewhere between, like, how do I describe this? It's like someone would let me start that sentence over. It's like someone has taken a caricature of what somebody thinks like a halibut looks like or a salmon looks like. And I know those are technically two separate fish, but bear with me. Someone has taken what they think a fish looks like and then give it reptilian features. So it has a slim body. It has fins that are larger than your bodies themselves. It looks like, by all accounts, that this creature should be in water, but it's kind of like undulating through the jungle, undulating through the air, as if it can both fly and hover, above the forest floor. If that makes any sense.
Oh my.
Do we see any vessel or anything in that area? Or are they surrounding something?
As far as you can see, there's no signs of a crash site. There's no crashed vessel that you can see. There is no signs of scorch marks on the rock formation. As far as you can tell, you're flying you're flying by visuals only at this point.
Mitz, take us overhead. Pretty much flip us upside down so we can see what might be there, because we really can't trust sensors in here.
Yep. Honestly, we should probably just power down the sensors for a while.
Well, you tell me. Are sensors being turned off?
No, we're going to keep sensors on, just in case.
That's why I asked. Stranger things have happened. All right. So, Metz, you are the navigator here. So, how close to not Pride Rock do you want to get? I mean, obviously, you're going to be overhead, but how close do you want to get?
I want to bring the ship in close enough where we could see the creatures, but not close enough where they could like fly and attack us. If that
Okay.
makes sense.
It does, yeah. Yeah, we can work with that. So, you gain a little bit of altitude, and you flip the ship upside down so you can look out of the bridge to the expanse below. And as you park yourself over the legally distinct Pride Rock, what you are seeing is that kind of in a cave formation, it's kind of like this collapsed sort of tunnel, there is what appears to be a metallic cylinder of some kind. And for once, because you kept sensors on, your sensors are now detecting that there is a crashed vessel in the nebula with you.
Well, the sensors are working.
How big is it? Like our size, shuttlecraft size?
It's
Does
roughly
it fit in the
shuttlecraft
hangar
sized.
bay?
Yeah, it's roughly shuttlecraft sized.
Since we can detect it with our sensors, can we get a transport lock?
Well, you can certainly try, but the nebula is going to make it a little bit difficult for you.
What if we try the tractor beam?
Also, something you could try.
I mean, it's tractor beam's not a bad idea. Our
It,
technology hasn't really interacted with them except in the energy variety, so maybe
yeah,
see what
I
happens.
am. My only concern about the tractor beam is very clearly indicating which direction we are to the creatures that haven't quite figured out we're here yet.
You want to try transporters first? If that fails, then we go to the more yank them out and fly away route.
That seems like a more cautious and prudent course of action.
All right.
Let's get some transporter action.
So, Captain Meridian, essentially the engineer, you'll be doing this one. This is a control and an engineering. The ship, if I remember correctly, assists you with a sensors engineering. This is a bit of a difficult role because we started a base difficulty of 2. The transport target is not on a transporter pad, +1 difficulty. The transport destination is not a transporter pad, another +1 difficulty. And on top of all that, the nebula confers its own difficulty, so you're looking at a difficulty of 5 here.
I'm pretty good at transporters. Okay, so the ship is going to be giving me 1 die as a support, right?
2 actually, because of advanced sensor suites.
2 because it's sensors. Ooh, I'm feeling good about myself today. Knocks on wood. Okay. So first things first, subspace mechanics focus.
Technically, yes.
Technically, yes is my favorite yes. Okay. I would like to roll 3 dice. So I will give you a treat to activate my bold engineering.
Okay.
That's a 2.
Okay, so
then
let's see the roll from the ship. Okay, that's good. So you're going to need to re-roll either that 17 or an 18 and get a success here for the transport to work.
All right, I will re-roll the 18.
I mean, 1 in 20 odds that, Okay, you're good. You're good. So, Meridian, I'm assuming you want to beam this crashed craft into the shuttle bay of some kind?
That is indeed what my thought process is.
All right. So, you lock on to the crashed ship, you beam it into your shuttle bay, and sure enough, as far as you're able to tell, the transport was successful.
Captain, I believe we have either a ship or a ship and a guest in the cargo bay.
All right, well, I'm going to head down to the cargo bay. Mr. Keshin, would you bring a security detail in case these people are not friendly? Mitts, keep us well away from all of this.
I'll head down with them with my fancy holographic terminal that just floats around with me.
Okay.
Let's see if they know what's going on here.
Engineering console.
That just sounded like bragging there for a second. There.
Yes, she
Graphic
absolutely
terminal
coded
floating
it.
around, just following me around. It's like
Yeah, no, it is
okay.
bragging because she coded it so that she has a floating engineering terminal with her no matter where she is
Nice.
on the ship. And in
Nice.
fact, she can control the ship from outside the ship with
Very nice.
it. Yeah,
Like Whiskey saw
it's a
the
toy.
Mass Effect Omni tool and thought, you know what we need to do? We need to put that in Star Trek.
We need
You know
we need
what?
one of
Yeah, why
those.
not?
Yeah.
Why not?
All right. Well, I guess that means Mitz, you have technically the big chair as everybody else goes down.
Yes.
Oh,
we did
wait a
just
minute.
leave
Hold
Mitz
on.
in command.
Oh, no!
Objection, Captain.
Oh, well.
Nah, it's fine.
We're like 2
It's
decks away. It'll be
fine.
fine.
I can just turn the engines off if she starts doing something absurd. Points at the
Actually,
console.
we could actually turn on the emergency science officer and have him take the bridge.
Do you
Yeah, that's
really
the
want
nature of our
ESH?
scientific emergency.
No.
No, we
I'll be
activate the ESH if
uncomfortable.
Mitz goes crazy.
Oh, okay, sure.
All right. Well, Mitz, we'll get back to you in a moment, but everybody else, you head down to the shuttle bay. The metal cylinder that is before you, it is impossibly smooth. And what I mean by that is this isn't something that could have been made by human hands, to borrow a colloquialism, where this is
Okay.
obviously a artificially created cylinder. But even
Okay.
as Meridian, as you're scanning it from your engineering perspective, the machine that would have had to have made this has such a small tolerance, or such a high tolerance, I never remember which it is. But basically what I'm trying to get at is this thing is almost down to the atom levels of smooth.
Oh.
So
I gotta
it
get
is,
my hands on whatever they built this way. Holy shit.
yeah, it is impossibly smooth. Because even the Wolf-Rayet can't make something that good. But there's more. Your sensors aren't able to pierce into the interior of this cylinder. Again, this cylinder is basically the size of one of your shuttlecraft. And at the moment, it's kind of sitting on its flat bottom, where instead of it sitting on the sort of the rolly side of the cylinder and rolling all over the place, you beamed it such that it is upright, if that makes sense. But as far as you can tell, no deformations, no signs of entry points. It is just a big old mystery.
Does it literally look like a TARDIS that hasn't been activated before, kind of?
You know, that's a good comparison. Let me think. Kind of, yeah.
Is there any radiation or anything coming off of it? Are we detecting
No.
anything?
That's the funny thing, is that no radiation, no heat. Again, it's one of those things where the sensors can confirm that it's there, but you're probably getting more information from your own natural senses than what your sensors, like your tricorders, are picking up.
Captain, should we try knocking?
Captain's gonna walk right up and not go, knock on it. See what happens.
Which hand do you knock with?
The left hand.
The left hand.
The one you want to lose there.
The one you want to lose is the correct answer.
Right. So, Cannon, as you knock with your left hand, when your knuckles make contact with the surface, what ends up happening is you experience a sudden surge of pain that runs down the middle of your hand. I forget what the name of that vein is, but it basically travels down to that vein, goes all the way to your wrist before you're able to pull back and react. But as you now look at your hand, which is aching, your hand has taken on an ethereal quality, but not in like a completely ghost sense, more like your skin has become transparent. So you can see the muscles and the veins and the bones, and it's not a fun sight, let me tell you.
I don't know.
Like
I think that's pretty fun. I kind of want to touch it.
Yeah, me too.
I kind of want to touch it.
Well, the captain's going to state some Star Trek appropriate curse words there. And then let Meridian start scanning my meaty hand.
I start scanning your hand while resisting the urge to touch the cylinder.
Okay.
Hey, can somebody get medical down here?
I'm trying to remember. Didn't we have a Tellarite doctor? Was it a Tellarite? Let me look. Hold on.
I think we did.
Quickly look.
Something like that.
I know
Yes.
we had a nurse.
We have Warg, the Tellarite.
Yes.
Yes. Were they Sean Connery? I think they were Sean Connery.
I think they were Sean Connery.
All Tellarites
Everyone's
are
Sean
Sean
Connery.
Connery. So
Yeah.
No, we have a Denoblian nurse too.
we do. Where are they?
Trina in the supporting characters.
Oh, the one whose sheet
yeah, the one
apparently
whose
never
stats are fucked.
properly.
Yeah,
has
it never sticks
stats.
there.
Yeah. I still don't know why that is, by the way. I swear I've looked into this like 3 times. By all known laws and reasoning, it shouldn't be resetting her sheet, but it keeps doing it.
But now we have to figure it out because you maintain this thing.
Well,
You got a bug.
I was gonna say it's a bug, and I have beat my head over the table like 3 times trying to figure out why it's doing this. But more to the point, we'll use Warg for the time being. So, Meridian, as you are scanning Cannon's hand, Warg walks from sickbay, literally a couple doors down, and goes, "Well, let me make sure I understand this correctly. Instead of having a security officer do the honors, you decide, Captain, that, I'm just going to knock with my hand onto an alien object which may or may not be deadly to touch at all. You just decided, forget caution, forget the fact that we have a security team. I'm just going to knock on it. Is that about right?"
As he finishes
Powers of
saying that,
observation never cease to amaze me. Now, could you do your job and take a look here?
So the
Look at him during this time. Behind his mask is smiling with a big smile.
Whiskey, you were saying?
Yes. So the second that the Tellarite has finished the spiel of "Why are you being so reckless?" Meridian smiles and then lightly baps the cylinder whilst making direct eye contact with the doctor.
Okay, let me be clear here. Are you using a tail? Are you using a hand? What are you bapping it with?
Bapping it with the tip of the tail.
Okay.
She likes pain, so she doesn't care. She's here for some science.
That sounds like the snake's going to get smaller.
How effective is the tail whip against the alien device?
Well,
it lowers
it lowers the defense of the alien device because that's what tail whip does. But what ends up happening is you do experience a jolt of pain before you pull your tail back, and about a foot of your tail from the tip is now completely translucent, where you can see the muscles, the bones, and everything underneath. It's as if somebody has transformed or otherwise cloaked your scales to be transparent. And the doctor just goes, "Now why in the hell are my captains just so stupid today? I swear, is it the lack of coffee? I mean, okay, all right.
Yes,
Let me just run some scans. Nobody touch that thing. Keshin, if someone tries to touch it, shoot them. That's a direct order from Nishimo. If somebody tries to touch it, shoot them." But Warg runs a tricorder scan over Captain Cannon's hand, runs a scan over Meridian's tail, and goes, "Well, I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is that your skin and your scales are still there. The bad news is that they are being cloaked by a technology I don't understand. I don't know how long this effect will last, but judging by the fact that it hurt and the fact that biology is usually resilient, give it a couple hours, maybe a few days, hell, maybe a week. Maybe it'll be a lesson to you not to touch random things in the future."
Listen, without coffee, this is the only way we can feel anything.
You do realize that we could make coffee the old-fashioned way, yes?
Oh, right, I forgot that's a thing we can do.
You have coffee beans on the ship?
We have
Of
coffee
course I
beans,
do. I'm a
yeah.
doctor.
What?
Of course I do. I'm a doctor. You know, caffeine has medicinal effects, which do work.
Meridian to Ensign Reed, I need you to boil old and some water, and then make some old-fashioned coffee. That is in fact an order.
You want me to boil water? How am I supposed to do that? Am I supposed to shoot it with a phaser?
I'm
my
sure you
God.
can figure it out. Then she hangs up.
That could work. That could work.
So
All right, back to the giant metal cylinder we got dealing with right here.
Yes.
All right, so you say there's a cloaking field around both of our appendages?
More or less, yes. It's something that, with further study, I could probably counteract, but this is very odd. I've never seen a biological thing be cloaked in such a fashion.
What if we touch our
Okay,
cloaked?
Wait a
body
minute.
parts
He said
together?
biological thing. How do you ascertain that it's biological?
I think we're biological.
Yeah,
Yeah,
us.
Oh, right.
The doctor is saying that
Okay.
you're biological, that is cloaked, not like the
I thought
cylinder
he
is
was-
biological.
I thought he was talking about the cylinder, and I was like, what?
Nah.
Captain, touch my tail.
Wow.
Okay, I'm not doing that. I'm not getting HR involved.
We need. No, Captain? What I mean is, we need the scientific data
I'm-
point of what happens when
I-
two cloaked things are touching that are not of the same thing.
I'm bringing out my cuffs.
You know, I like those.
HR violation. It's like, okay, sexual assault here.
It's not assault. It's a request.
On duty.
So I guess the important question is, do you touch hand with tail?
I'm gonna put my hand out. She hits it with her tail. That's up to her.
Okay.
I
All right.
touch it with tail
All
for
right.
science.
So there is a momentary flash of light that does blind everyone in the immediate vicinity, like if a flashbang grenade went off. But when the light recedes and you can finally see again, your hand and tail are back to normal.
I'm a genius. She
Oh.
pretends like she knew that would happen.
Okay, then we got to ask ourselves: is this a product of this cylinder, or is it something that it picked up while it was down there with these weird dinosaur creatures in the jungle we can't sense?
It's a solid question.
The cylinder
Actually, so
sits there
during-
ominously.
I'm going to ask Captain Meridian if, while she was using her tricorder, she scanned the hand. Was she able to scan skin, for example, or was it just bones?
So
And
I'll
other,
give you
puzzles and all that.
Warg's result, because Warg had a medical tricorder. Very different tool,
Right.
very important
Tricorder.
distinction.
Indeed.
Medical tricorder.
Indeed.
So it wasn't so much that the bone and the muscle and the sinew was exposed. It's just that the outer layer of skin or the outer layer of scales was what was cloaked. And
Right.
the moment that cloak was disrupted, that cloaking effect went away and everything returned to normal.
Okay, but while it was still cloaked,
Mm-hmm.
could he tell there was skin there?
Yes, that's what I'm saying, is that he could then sense via his tricorder that the skin, the scales was still there, but
Right.
it wasn't visible.
Okay. Intriguing.
We should probably try hailing this thing.
Or I was thinking of using some heavy object and throw it at it instead. It might actually make it through.
Well, here,
Oh, yeah,
if
you want
you're
me
just
to ask
doing
the
silly
computer
to get a
things,
bowling
here's a
ball?
10-foot pole. Poke it with a stick.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Something like that. Yeah.
Stick makes more sense than bowling ball, but it would be fun to just replicate a bowling
Yeah.
ball. Because, I mean, it's
Considering what
kind of...
Considering what just happened, hitting it with something you're holding, probably not the best idea.
That's
Yeah.
That's why I was planning on throwing something.
Computer,
just walk
give
over-
me a stick to throw a dog.
And the
works.
computer, again in Janeway's voice, says, specify size of dog.
Corgi.
Oh, geez.
Specify Pembroke or Welsh.
Welsh.
And then moments later, replicated before you is a stick appropriately sized for a Welsh corgi.
I hand Kern the stick.
Okay, I throw the stick.
Okay? Because it's funny. Control security difficulty of 2.
Control
If you
security.
roll a
Okay.
complication on this, I just want you to know it will never be lived down, ever.
Nice.
If you roll a complication, a dog is gonna spontaneously be on the ship and intercept that stick.
So,
Honestly, failure here is funnier than success.
I agree. Failure is funnier than success.
Can I use hand-to-hand combat as a focus?
No, you could use ranged weapons as a focus if you had ranged weapons, but
I don't have ranged weapons now.
Yeah.
If you
I do
have
weapons
playing
there, but-
fetch with dogs, that also is
yeah,
a focus.
I don't think so.
You have stick combat.
Okay, so what's the difficulty?
it is a difficulty of 2.
It is 2, eh?
Well, it's
Okay,
because
so I'm
all
gonna
ranged weapons are 2, so throwing a stick is
Right.
2.
Right. Okay.
Please
So
roll
I was
double
gonna-
complications.
I'm going to use the momentum, so
Okay.
increase my chance of rolling a complication.
Okay?
Yes.
I applaud that use. Mm-hmm.
And then let's give it a whirl.
Okay, so you at least get your momentum back. You're up to 6, but you actually don't get a complication, that's okay. We can work around not having a complication. So you take the stick, you throw it, it hits the cylinder, it bounces off the cylinder,
Uh-huh.
and
Can I
then
spend a
moments
momentum?
later, where
make
the
noise?
stick, it does make noise.
make
It's like
noise?
a metallic
Okay, good.
clanging sound, like a gong.
Oh, good. Good, yeah, good.
Moments later, where the stick
Yeah.
hit, little aperture opens up, and you see inside this glowing ball of light. It doesn't look like a creature;
Okay.
it just kind of looks like a glowing ball of light.
Uh-huh.
But the light says, "Who are you, and where are we?"
Before we get into that, could I give you a threat to have the stick bounce back and hit the doctor?
Yes. Yes.
Actually,
Please, I support this.
Like, you don't even have to give me threat. That's just funny. So Warg is like, "Oh, you hit me in the face with a stick. Why would you do this? Ah."
well,
Lucky
I was
it missed
actually
my
aiming for the
eye.
captain there, Doctor. And I wink at the captains.
Oh my god. All right, I'm leaving before you do anything more stupid, I swear.
All right, so glowing alien pops out, says hello.
Well, it doesn't come out. It's just kind of looking at you through an aperture.
It opened the blinds. I went, the heck you
Cam's
want?
gonna,
And
Cam's
it
gonna
asked
smile
who
and wave and
we
go
are.
hello.
Well,
Yeah, it asked who we are and where are we, I think.
Yeah. Who are you and where are we?
Well, I'm Captain Lance Cannon. You're on the Wolf-Rayet. We answered a distress call from you. And you are?
I am Smoggle, and this is a very strange afterlife.
Huh?
I'm sorry, afterlife?
Well, yeah. I'm in my coffin right now.
You don't appear to be dead.
Well, that's because this is the afterlife.
Yes, but
And
if
why
you were
would
in
you
your
need a
coffin,
distress
you'd have been
signal?
dead at the time.
I don't really have an answer for that. This is very strange. I've never really died before. Is this supposed to happen?
You'll get used to it. Can you come outside of your coffin?
No, again, this is very odd. I've never really read or heard of anything like this. All I was really know about this situation is that, you go into a coffin, you get cremated, and then you show up in the afterlife. But I'm talking to you, and the coffin's still here, so I have no idea what's going on.
Let's back this up a couple of steps. Where do you come from, but where you died at?
That's a very strange question to ask. I mean, where else would I come from? I come from the planet Small.
So it's a small planet?
No, it's
No, I
actually
think
quite
that's his
large.
name. Hmm.
Ironically.
But again, you speak as if you're not from Small. So, is this. I've never heard of anything like this.
We're from pretty far away.
It
Yeah, we're
doesn't
just
answer,
visiting
it
in the
just sort of
neighborhood there.
floats there glowing.
Do you remember vaguely what your star system looks like? Like when you look up the stars, like do you have a sort of picture of what that sort of area looks like? Like if if we showed you on a map, would you be able to go, "Oh yeah, that's where I'm from"?
You're not making any sense. Where else could you be from if not from Small?
Assuming your people don't have interplanetary travel.
No?
Awesome.
No
Meridian just
astronomy
face
charts
bombs.
You're
She
not
concludes
dead.
we've broken the Prime Directive.
Well,
Well, you're not dead, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, as far as we can
No,
tell, you're
if you
not
can-
dead.
That's a terrible sign. I mean, I'm dead. Shouldn't I be in the afterlife?
But you're not dead because we're talking.
I know that's
We're
what
not
makes this
dead.
very. This is very alarming.
Don't worry,
I'm
I'm
sure
sure you
it's
can get back to
equally-
being dead at a later time.
Die on your own time.
Would you prefer to be alive or would you prefer to be dead?
I don't know. I've never died before. I just wanted to go to the afterlife.
If you've never died before, then how can you be dead?
Because I'm in my coffin.
Because the state of being in a coffin does not equal the state of being dead. You can be a. Hang on. Let me make a demonstration. Computer, replicate coffin. From my home world.
Well, the Cephalus actually don't use coffins. They adhere to cremation. So you get the equivalent of grandmother's urn.
You know, this was a poor example. How about Earth?
All right. So this time, when you replicate an Earth coffin, you get the standard sort of wooden paneled, barely cushioned, pallbearer born coffin kind of a thing.
Kenan, can you do me a favor and step into the coffin and proclaim, "I am still alive in my coffin"?
I step inside the coffin again. I am still alive inside my coffin.
See, you can be inside of a coffin and not dead.
I then step outside of the coffin.
I I I I I don't even know what to say at this point. I don't understand. I'm a very very simple person. I worked hard. I did what the preacher said. I was very pious. Am I in the other place? Am I not in the good place? Am I in the other place?
No, this is a pretty good place. I mean, look at me. I'm pretty cool.
Yeah, you keep saying look at you, but all I really see are just more small people.
What do we look like when you look at us?
You look like
Describe us.
you're a Smallian, like I am.
Describe yourself.
Describe it.
You're asking me to describe what a Smallian looks like.
No, I
Like, let's say you were trying to get a. Yeah.
You first, Cannon.
I was going to say, assuming you were trying to get an artist to draw a picture of one of you, please describe it that way.
Well, what kind of question?
Imagine, for example, somebody who has no sense of sight, and you're trying to explain to them what you look like.
Well, that doesn't make any sense at all. If they're blind and they've never seen before, how can I describe what something looks like? They would never understand that. That's like
Make your best
explaining
attempt.
color. You're asking me to describe color to a blind person. Meanwhile, back up on the bridge.
Yes.
Oh no!
Mitz, you've watched, just sort of sitting there station keeping, but you've watched as the Type A, the Type B, the Type Cs, the horrifying dinosaur Cthulhu aliens, they have started to crowd around the rock in which this pod, this coffin, as it was called, this coffin, where it used to be. And in fact, they are growing in number. That you are watching creatures emerging from the tree line and begin circling where the coffin was moments before.
I should notify the captains. This doesn't seem like a Mitz thing, so I'll be notifying the captain.
I'm spending 2 threat that the communications do not work at the moment. Have fun.
Oh, fuck, okay.
That's funny, because Meridian was going to say, I'm sure you can handle it, and then hang up without giving any useful advice.
Yeah, but it's
We're
fine
only
if I
Can
spend
I
the 2
call
threat.
the holographic science officer at least?
Why are you looking at me? I do not understand what's going on. It's, I don't know, ant death spiral? I'm not knowing what you want from me. I did not see anything like this in Old Shipyard.
Can't you at least give moral support?
Yeah, one moment. He snaps his fingers, and he now has a cheerleader's outfit and little pom-pom, and he goes, "You can do it, Mitz! Go, go, go!"
That doesn't help at all!
I desperately want the science officer to still be in that when we get back up there.
Been noted for future reference.
Literally. Oh.
Right. If the communications don't work, I don't remember
Send
being
somebody.
briefed on what I should do.
We didn't tell you anything, we just said good luck and left you in command of the ship.
Well, I'm seeing you got 2 options here. Either option A, you grab a junior officer and send them running. Option B, you put the ship on automatic and you go running.
Option C, full frontal attack.
I'll throw
Oh
you a
my
bone.
god!
I'll throw you a bone. Is that Ensign Reeve walks onto the bridge holding a phaser and a pot of water, and he says, oh, the captains aren't here. I'm following up on the
Ensign!
boiling water. Yeah, yes, hi.
I grab his shoulders. Ensign, thank goodness you're here.
Okay.
Sit in the captain's chair. This is your responsibility now. And I start running.
But wait,
You've
I'm
made
supposed
the
to
most
boil water.
genius
You
idea
can't-
ever.
You can't just leave me. Oh God, I'm in charge of the ship now. Oh God, do I still have to boil the water? ESH, do I still have to boil the water? ESH shrugs and says, "I don't know, but you can do it. Yay!"
in the cheerleader outfit.
In the cheerleader outfit, of course.
Nice.
We put our version of Chuck Norris in charge of the ship. That's genius.
Well, as you all are having fun with Smold, Mitz, you enter the scene and you see the impossible cylinder. You see an aperture from which light is spilling out. You see Meridian. You see Cannon. You see Keshin. You see the security team. Warg has left. Warg is having none of this silliness. So yeah, you sort of just enter in mid-conversation.
Captain, we have a bit of a situation with the legally distinct Pride Rock.
If you're here
What's the
and
situation?
I'm here, then who's flying this plane?
Don't worry, I left Ensign Reed to handle it.
You know that's the best
Everybody-
decision you've made.
As soon as she says that, I just start walking to the bridge.
Hey, go ask about our coffee.
I don't say anything. I just start walking to the bridge.
Cannon, ask about my coffee when you get there.
I just wave and just keep walking.
I walk next to him.
With a bit of SMH sticking my head.
Yeah, a whole lot of that.
Well,
Wait,
even
that means I'm in charge down here.
Well, that's the thing, is that as you start to walk away, Smold says, "Wait a second, where are you going? Aren't you supposed to take me to the afterlife or the other place? Flo, where are you going? Okay, you're gone. That's great."
Hey, Kern, I think you got this. I pat Kern on the back, and then I also leave.
Oh my god!
Nice.
So I'm gonna say, who's Kern?
Oh, that's just my nickname for the stick that you threw. The stick is in charge. You have to follow the stick's orders.
Okay. Must be in your native language.
Yes.
Since the stick hit the ship, is it invisible?
No, it's actually still visible.
Okay.
I do leave the stick in charge and then walk away.
Okay. So, Keshin, you've got a very confused and prime directive prone alien in front of you. What do you do?
Well,
Stun him.
see.
Stun him.
I think he's already kind of mentally stunned.
I think he's kind of stunned already. Yeah. So, tell me more about this heaven of yours. Where you go after you die?
Oh,
Maybe I know where it is.
What do you mean where it is? It's the afterlife. What? You can't just go there.
Well, maybe we can.
You speak very strangely.
Thank you.
Listen, like, can I just, I don't mean this in a rude way, but can I speak to somebody that, like, with more power than you?
No, because the communicators are down.
Yeah, the two higher-ups
say
just
that.
left.
Yes. I'm afraid I've been left in charge. So
No, you haven't.
in
The
charge.
stick's in charge.
What's that?
What do you mean you're in charge? You can't just
No, I've been
supersede
left
authority.
in charge. I've been left in charge. They left me in charge to deal with this situation.
Yes, it just.
With you, in other words.
This is all so very confusing. Can you just send me along? Can you just put me back where I'm supposed to be?
Well, see, the thing is we were answering a distress call.
I don't know about any distress call. I was dead.
Well, that would be definitely a situation for distress.
No, because I'm in my coffin. I'm where dead things are supposed to be.
Yes, but you're not where but you are not where you're supposed to be right now.
Is this a test of my faith?
Could be.
It's a test of our sanity.
Is this like some special test of the pious that I'm not aware of?
Mm-hmm. It could be. Do you think you passed so far?
No.
Okay. So tell me about your heaven.
But we're in heaven. Why do I have to describe heaven to you? Unless we're in the other place. Just tell me, are we in heaven or are we in the other place?
I'm running a survey, so I'd like to get your opinion.
You're running a survey.
This is what happens when we've been away for a month. This is the best episode yet.
I concur.
Meanwhile, back on the bridge.
Tears.
Meanwhile, back on the bridge.
Get back to the bridge.
Yeah.
Nice outfit.
Cannon, Meridian, Mitz, you walk onto the bridge as Reeve is literally shooting a pot of water with a phaser. And he goes, "Oh, Captain Meridian, I was just boiling that water."
Awesome. Now I need you to get some coffee beans and follow the recipe in the computer for making coffee.
Why do I need the boiling water?
Well, the water is boiled for purity's sake and also to brew the coffee. That's an ingredient of the coffee brewing. You need that, and you need some ground coffee beans. And I don't know the rest, so ask the computer.
Computer, how do I make coffee? This time a Janeway hologram does appear. It says, well, I'm glad you asked because I am an aficionado about coffee. I already
Please tell me the next
boiling water. That is an excellent step. Grab the boiling water and I'll take you to where the coffee beans are. Reeve, of course, picks up the pot very carefully and says, I guess I'm doing this now. Okay.
Can I break the fourth wall for a related comment?
You can.
You can use code Whiskey64VT for $5 off of Atasha coffee.
There you go. Hashtag sponsored. Hashtag sponsored.
Nice.
Oh, Lord. But yeah, Reeve departs, and yeah, the rest of you settle back into your stations, and you do see that the ant death spiral, as I like to imagine it, is that more and more of the alien monstrosities are just circling around where this coffin used to be.
Now that we've kind of seen what this thing looks like, we want to get some scans of it. Are there any others that we might be able to detect?
No, see, that's the thing, is that, again, nothing's changed about the situation. The sensors don't detect Pride Rock. They don't detect the monstrosities. You, again, are just using your own natural senses to see and hear all this.
I think they might be in hell.
But it did detect the little coffin thing, right?
It did.
Yeah, it's the only other thing that was real. It's the only thing that's shown up on the
But it's not detecting any other ones.
Correct.
Okay, so we have to assume that they don't send them here and this isn't their afterlife. Otherwise, there'd be a lot more of them. And this doesn't exactly seem like the only guy that in this species ever died.
They're definitely not dead.
Well, their version of dead and our version of dead might be different.
Either that or they're dumb. But let's not ascribe intelligence based on whether or not being in a coffin makes you alive or dead.
No,
she says not able to keep a straight face on this, thoroughly believing that there's just a dumb alien in the closet over there.
Now we're still hovering the same spot as before, right? Directly over where these things are doing their little spinning move.
Yeah, you're sort of at the epicenter because you were directly overhead of the rock, so...
I'm going to move over to Mitt's console, and I'm going to move us over like 30 yards to the left and see if there's any reaction from the animals.
There is. In fact, the monstrosities recenter their death spiral directly beneath you.
I believe they know where that coffin is.
I think the coffin is their food.
Meanwhile, back down in the shuttle bay. What do you mean? You can't take a survey? That's not how this works.
Well,
she's getting a clipboard out now.
If this was a test, maybe it is how it works.
That's not how tests work. You can't expect me to just die and then have a multiple choice question test waiting for me. This is... Okay, I'm convinced at this point I'm in the bad place. I fully admit this is the bad place.
Well, from what I've seen, I'd have to agree with you.
It's pretty bad outside.
All right, so I'm in the bad place. I'm tortured for all eternity. Great. Can we get on with the torturing, or is this part of the torturing?
Actually, that's what the survey was for.
To torture me?
to find out your likes and dislikes.
I wasn't aware that torture was privy to my likes and dislikes.
Oh, definitely.
So if I say that I like the color red, you're gonna get rid of the color red or something?
Absolutely.
Okay, then I hate everything that is colorful.
Hmm. Interesting.
Called
And
your
I
bluff there.
definitely hate eating and breathing and I hate pain. Wait, I shouldn't have told you about the pain. Shit.
Indeed. And I'll wring my hands as if I was like I just got a juicy bit of tidbit of information there.
Well, get on with it. Torture me. Let's. I've got an eternity to be tortured. Get on with it.
Hmm. So I have a question of rather of more interest is how do you open these coffins?
You don't. You're in a coffin. You get sent to the
Right.
other place, and that's it.
Hmm. Okay. How do you get put in there?
I die.
Okay. So in other words, you can't tell me how you got in.
I died.
Well, I do enjoy your single-mindedness there. uh, wow. Okay. So, in your opinion of in your knowledge, what kind of what are you expecting?
I
Whether you're in the bad place or the good place.
we were just talking about this. I'm in the bad place, so that means I get tortured for all eternity for some sin that I committed that I wasn't aware of because I thought I was doing pretty well until I died.
Hmm. And so you went from a physical body to a ball of energy.
Uh, I don't know if I don't know what's going on at this point.
Hmm.
I don't think anyone does.
Can you try to start getting him out of the thing so we can, talk to him more reasonably?
I mean, I think they're gonna need the transporter for that.
Yeah. I have a feeling the transporter won't work.
Fair.
There's a cloaking field around a coffin here.
Yeah, but have you tried?
Oh, I was definitely. I will start my first torture now,
Oh God.
and I smile. I smile. Go to a console and try to teleport him out of the coffin.
Okay. I will immediately tell you that the sensors are not able to lock on anything but the entire coffin itself. It does not pierce into the coffin.
Okay, that's what I thought. Hmm. I'd like to get back to my survey.
Okay. We'll go back to the bridge then. We go back to the
Got it.
bridge, and yeah, three of you are just watching this death spiral get bigger and bigger by the moment.
Huh.
Do they look hungry to you?
Oh, they look very hungry.
What if this is that guy's bad place and these are the things that are supposed to torture him?
Torture him. Yeah.
You know, I'm starting to think that that's actually a genuinely valid possibility.
Can
I
we
mean,
get the computer to create a visual representation of what we're seeing since I can't scan anything?
So to
Like he's doing
clarify,
Videotaping
are
kind of
you
thing.
wanting to make a copy of the coffin or what you're seeing down below you?
like a picture of one of these dinosaur creatures.
Okay, yeah, you can make one of those. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna grab it out of the replicator. Call somebody that's actually competent to come watch the bridge for us, and I'm gonna head back down to this coffin because I want to show this picture to the creature that's inside of it and say, "Is this something from the bad place?"
Okay, so you arrive midway through Keshin giving another survey, and you go, "Hey, look at this picture." And Smold inside the coffin goes, "I knew it. That's one of the bad things. I am in the bad place. Oh no."
Well, we got good news and we got bad news for you. You are in the bad place for what your society appears to. But to us, you're not dead. So if we can get you out of this coffin, there's a possibility you could come with us and, continue a normal life.
But I'm dead. I don't have a life.
Do you want one?
I'm dead.
I mean, we can stick you back down there with a whole bunch of these, and I wave the picture at him.
I mean, that would be
try to get you
preferable
out of
to
it.
more surveys at this point.
So look over at Keshin. Like, what the? Like, okay, no more surveys. But we didn't know what's going on here, so.
But how do you
Not
not know
exactly
what's
being
going
helpful.
on? Aren't you in charge of the bad place?
God, I wish I was.
So Meridian walks in just as that happens.
Mitz once again left alone on the bridge. Once again.
No, we got somebody
we
up there.
put
So
quote
Mitz
someone competent. I don't know.
Mitz is
I
competent.
guess Lyra, maybe. I don't know.
Mitz
Who
is
else do we
competent.
have that
Mitz
has
is
stats?
fine.
Mitz left Reed in charge. No.
Mitz left.
We got an auxiliary crew up there watching the bridge.
But to be fair, how much better or worse is that than all of us willingly leaving Mitz in charge?
I'm putting Mitz back in charge because it's funny. Anyway, carry on.
So
we,
Captain, what if we had the scientific ability? Follow me here, right? Right? As your engineer, what if we had the ability to bring him back to life? She winks.
My God, Meridian, that's perfect. We can bring them back to life through science.
Yes. Would you like to be undead? Not like that. Would you like to, not the other one. Would you like to go back to being alive to not have more surveys?
Is that an option, or is this a test of my faith once more?
It's an option.
It is an option.
Then, yes, I would like that option.
All right, we'll work on it.
Okay, I guess I'll be here.
It would help us greatly if we get you out of the coffin to do this process. Is there any way you could assist us in getting you out of the coffin?
No, it's a coffin. You go in it and you stay in it.
How'd you open the? How did like she gestures at the viewport? How'd that open?
I don't know. I heard a thud and then it opened. I don't know how it works.
Computer, slightly larger stick.
Specify size of stick.
One dog category larger.
Specify Malamute or Husky.
Husky.
Define volume level of Husky.
Thick. 3 C's.
And the computer replicates a hologram of a very temperamental, very thick husky. So the husky, wow, 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 wow. And it does have a stick in its mouth.
I bend down and give the dog a pet and then put my hand out.
No take, my stick.
What?
Doesn't actually say that, but it makes the motion.
Oh, okay. I was like,
it
what?
would be significantly funnier if it said that. All right, I just drop.
Nope.
I pick up the dog and the stick.
That's a method.
I shrug,
You
looking
throw
at
the dog at the coffin.
Captain. It's not a real dog, and I didn't ask for the dog, so I'm improvising here.
The captain's got his head in his hands right now.
I toss the dog and the stick, and I'm gonna try and see if I can hit the top of the coffin.
Okay. Well, because we're a PETA-friendly stream, kinda, the dog is fine. The dog is not injured by this act. The dog is having a fun time. But the stick, when the stick hits, because the stick is real, the stick does hit the top of the coffin, and sure enough, it does open up the top of the coffin. And Smold inside goes, "What are you doing? Why are you opening my coffin?"
So we can bring you back to life.
Oh. Okay.
See? It's like you said, right? When you're in the coffin, you're dead. But if we extract you out, you become alive again.
Okay. But I'm dead.
Is it
Yeah,
open enough
right
that we
now.
can get in?
You're gonna
Can
need a
I-
ladder.
I'm not
Computer,
getting
one
there.
ladder, step
Okay.
variety, OSHA compliant.
It creates an OSHA compliant ladder for you to step on. Congratulations. The husky's still there as well, by the way. The husky's just sitting there tail wagging, making a bunch of husky noises.
I will pet the husky as I walk up the ladder to go look inside this coffin to see what all we're dealing with here without
All right.
actually touching it.
Okay, well, you kind of just see a prismatic interior of a bunch of mirrors and reflective surfaces and that glowing ball of light, which is apparently Smold.
The doctor's going to hate me for this, but I'm going to put my hand out and offer it to Small and see if he'd like to come out.
Okay, so to be clear, you are sticking your hand through the aperture.
To the aperture, not into the aperture.
Okay, so
I'm up to it, but I'm not going to my hand through there.
Okay.
Learn my lesson twice now.
Okay, just making sure. So, you offer out the hand, and nothing happens.
Okay.
Do we have a tractor beam mount inside of here?
Computer, wooden ladder, 4 foot tall, normal weight in my position, and I'm going to slide that into him to step on out.
Okay, so the computer creates a real wooden ladder. You begin feeding the ladder into the aperture, and what you're noticing is that as the ladder is going into the aperture, it is vanishing. And you get all the way down to the very top of the ladder, you let go, and the ladder's gone.
Well, it's interesting.
Do we have tractor beam controls to like inside of here to maneuver heavy objects?
Yeah, it's a shuttle bay. You have tractor beams in here.
Figured I would. Hey, Captain, what if what if we just treat it like a bag of a tube of 21st century Earth
I get it. You're gonna
prongles, I
dump 'em
think
out.
they were called.
You're going to dump them out. Got it. Try it.
Yeah. Just invert.
All right. So,
Do we-
Miss
do we warn him
Meridian,
first?
if you are going to be tractor beaming, that's going to be a control engineering. The ship will assist you with a weapons engineering, difficulty of 4.
Okay. Well, we are maxed on momentum. So, all right, let's see here. So difficulty of 4?
Yep.
And you did say the ship was structure engineering,
Weapons engineering.
weapons engineering. Oh, okay.
That's a good one. It's a pretty good combo.
Oh, this has a focus. Nice.
Let's see. Can I interest you in subspace mechanics, warp field dynamics, or power systems?
No, not in this instance.
Are you feeling gravimetric protostar containment today?
Nah, don't think that helps here.
I could make it do the opposite of help.
I don't think anybody else would appreciate that, though.
No, alright, so I will roll... Think here. I'm gonna roll 4 dice.
Okay.
How much if I wanted that in momentum would that be?
3 momentum for 4 dice total, or it would be 3 threat, or you could do 1 momentum, 2 threat, or 2 momentum, 1 threat.
I'm feeling really good about 3 momentum.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Well, that's already 4, and that's nothing from the ship, so you get the 4 you needed. So, Meridian,
There
you use the tractor beams in the shuttle bay to lift up the coffin, turn it over, and give it a good old shake. And what happens is the light goes brighter and brighter and brighter, and then a ball does drop out of the coffin. But the moment it leaves the coffin, it goes from a glowing ball of light to an inert, featureless, impossibly smooth sphere.
We get our ladder back.
No, the ladder does not come back.
Huh.
But the sphere is roughly the size of a tennis ball. So it's a small little thing. But it's roughly the size of a tennis ball, and it has no features. It is just a sphere of smooth silver.
gonna
Captain,
go to
I'm
Husky.
Use a tricorder to analyze it.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
get the Husky to go get it.
Yes, the Husky to go get it. As you do that, Meridian just asserts, yes, so clearly this coffin also allows us to understand their language. But you see, once they've exited it, we can no longer perceive them as alive because the coffin is designed so that if their loved ones encounter it, they can talk to them as if they were alive. But since we've removed it, they look dead. But they're very much alive, she says, as she's trying to convince everyone she didn't just fucking kill this guy.
I mean, it sounded good to me, you know.
I bought
I
in.
mean,
Yeah.
he was in a coffin, so I mean,
He was in a
isn't he already
coffin. I mean, probably.
Yeah.
Listen, at the very least, we put him out of his misery. He didn't seem to be having a good time.
dead? Has the tractor beam put the thing down now?
It does, yes.
Okay. All right. Meridian, let's scan the ball that's sitting in the Husky's mouth right now.
Yeah, don't touch it. You might turn inside out or something.
Or disappear altogether.
Well, whomever is doing the scan, because I think Keshin spoke up there about wanting to scan it as well. Whomever is doing the scan, it's a reason and science at a difficulty of 3.
You know what? I'll do that
Okay.
because that's a 15 together for me. So I'm probably the highest of those at the moment.
Yeah, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Does it tip at
Nice.
this?
No, because it's a tricorder scan.
Right.
Do I have a focus that might appear here? Composure, persuasion, linguistics.
Can you persuade it to be
mechanics.
alive?
Don't think you have a focus, unfortunately.
Okay. And what was the difficulty?
3.
All right, I'm gonna spend 1 momentum to get an extra dice
Okay.
and see what happens.
I can give you a success with a complication.
I'll take it.
Okay. So as far as you're able to tell, this ball of whatever it is, it's pure carbon. Like all the way through, just pure carbon. And it's almost like a bit of graphite, but just been crushed down impossibly small. I think it's called graphene, is what it's actually called, but either way, it's a very compressed, very dense, very impossibly smooth thing of carbon. But the complication is going to be that the moment the ball of carbon hits the deck plating, Mitz, up on the bridge, because Mitz is in charge, because it's funny, Mitz, all of the creatures in one look up at you in the Wolf-Rayet. And they stop moving. They stop moving and look directly at you.
Oops.
I would like to
Panicking is a free action.
Chill, stop!
Panic is a free action.
Yeah.
So is crying. Crying is a free action.
Crying is a
You can
free
also
action.
use your bonus action to cry.
Yeah, bonus action to look at this holographic science officer. Like,
All right, go, Mitz, go! Rah, rah, rah!
That's not what I was hoping for, but all right. Our communication's still down.
Yes, because it's funny.
So
Nice.
shields are up, right? Shields are up.
Shields are up.
Uh-huh. Do we have any torpedoes? I don't know.
You have
We
many
have a
torpedoes.
lot. We have a
We
lot
have-
of WMDs.
Mm.
Are you sure you want to touch Keshen's torpedoes though?
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. I'll not. I won't. But I'll use the phasers.
Okay. Are you just gonna fire indiscriminately?
No, unless one of them starts flying.
Well, that's the funny thing, is that they all start to lift up off of the ground and begin hovering in your direction menacingly.
Okay, you know what? Fire all phasers.
Firing all phasers. All right, Mitz, give me a control security at a difficulty of 2, and the Wolf-Rayet will assist you with a weapon security.
Cannon Mitz is firing literally all of the phasers.
That would actually that would resonate throughout the ship.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So
Yeah.
roll to see how well you do, but you're still gonna be. Everybody will know you're doing it.
The captain's opinion of me will lower even more.
No, I'm impressed. I still want your Romulan ale, though.
Question: Is crisis management a good
Yes.
focus for this?
You're
It
having
is.
a mental crisis. Yes.
It is. Yes, this actually does apply.
It's the Keshen Mitz show today.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't
Right.
had a
Okay.
make them do it episode.
How many? How many dice again? I should roll.
It's 2d20 by default. It is a difficulty of 2. The ship is assisting you.
Okay. Right. And no pressure. No pressure. It's not every day the senior officers leave you as captain of the ship.
I mean, it kind of is. We do this to you way more often than we should.
Okay, well, I have good news. That is 4 successes, meaning you're up to 4 momentum. And yeah, you start firing all phasers, full spread, maximum yield kind of a thing, down into the growing form of the monstrosities coming towards you. And all of you in the shuttle bay are aware of this. You both hear and feel the phasers firing. And I think the first thing that Meridian would do, and probably Keshen would do, is find the nearest window and look out, or actually pull up like a holographic display.
I put up a holographic
you
display of the main viewer.
You do see that
Actually,
the monstrosities below
Meridian,
are
can you
coming
put
up.
that up on the screen? You put that up on your holographic screen there?
Yeah. I sort of put it up and I just like spin it and go. So there's our problem.
Yeah. So you are seeing the rising mass of monstrosities, and you are seeing that they are growing very much in size and in number, and just a very bunch of bad things coming towards you.
All right,
But what
so I
happened with the phaser fire?
It's hitting creatures, and it's causing those creatures to fall. But there's so many creatures that it's like Left 4 Dead during a horde moment. There's just a lot of them.
Got it. So I'll have to train Mitz on full spread.
Yeah. In other news, I know what I want to do.
She's
on
kind
my
of in a
turn.
crisis at the moment.
Well, I don't know that. I'm not on the bridge, so.
I think Mitz is handling it perfectly mentally.
Mm-hmm.
So what I think we need to do, guys, is I think we need to get the dog to throw the orb out of the ship.
Into the coffin.
Or back into the coffin. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and direct the husky and point up to where it is and get him to drop it in there.
Roll
Or get it
animal
to jump
handling?
in there.
I was going to say roll animal handling. It is a husky, so it will be at disadvantage.
It's a hologram.
Oh,
So
Not if they're
Cannon,
well
because it's
trained.
funny, presence and command, you will have a focus in persuasion. It's a husky, difficulty of 5. I may or may not be biased
Oh, wow.
because I have a Malamute in real life.
Oh, okay.
These things are they absolutely are gremlin.
They're loud.
Can I use a determination?
You certainly can use determination.
Absolutely. This would be good, though.
I'd also like to give the maximum number of dice. So
Okay.
let's do
It would be
3
all
for
4
momentum.
momentum and 1 threat to do it.
How about we give
Do
you
it.
3 momentum and
Right.
2 threat?
Sure.
Okay.
And make sure to check
And-
using determination value in the roller.
Yep. Any complication range extra or?
No, just the same 20. There you go. 7 successes. There you go.
I think I get a husky to do what you tell it to do.
Yeah, and I don't know how you did it, but you
Wow.
convinced the husky to do what you want. So to be clear, you want the ball back in the coffin or you want it off the ship?
Back in the coffin.
Okay. Ball goes back into the coffin, turns back into that glowing ball of light, and Smold says, "What? Okay, I was dead, and then I was alive, and then I was dead again, and now I'm here again. Can I just be dead again?"
I thought you were dead in the coffin. I thought you were
Well,
already
apparently
dead.
not, because when you dumped me out of the coffin, I was dead.
Okay, so you're agreeing that you're alive now.
No, I'm in like some purgatory that I don't understand.
Well, that makes 2 of us. Don't worry about it.
All right. So my theory is that what we're detecting as a creature inside of this is not actually him. This is, the coffin giving this thing a personality. So when it came out, it was not a thing. It's just a ball. So I'm thinking
Maybe that's a
that
power
the coffin
source.
is what we should be focusing on,
But
not the
as a
thing
ball,
inside
he
of
was
it.
aware that he was outside.
Yeah, but he said he was dead.
Mm-hmm.
Which implies a state of not aware.
Yes, but you can't be aware that you don't exist.
Yes, but most people can't. I don't think you're supposed to be aware that you're dead. Either.
Anyway, I stare at the camera to see if they've stopped approaching.
Nope, they're accelerating at this point. But it's a very nice light show. Mitz is actually shooting a lot of them, but there's just so many.
It is a target-rich environment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of jealous.
So, I point at our glowing orb friend. Do you still want assistance, or do you want us to put you back?
Put me back.
I'll just leave you alone.
For the
Captain,
love
he
of
wants to
all
be
that
put
is
back.
small, put me back.
Captain,
What's
I
your
say we
name?
put it back.
Okay, we put him back. He has
I put him
requested us to
back.
return him.
Okay. Very important question. Do you literally just push him out of the force field protected shuttle bay, or do you transport him back?
Well, nobody's touching this box, so
You
unless
do have
we're
a
gonna bring him
holographic
on another
husky.
shuttle.
I'm gonna tell the holographic husky to go push it out.
Okay. Husky is a sled dog. They are meant for this work. So
Push.
holographic
Push.
husky does, I guess, have holographic reins and begins pulling the coffin to the edge of the force field. And with one graceful leap, the holographic husky pulls and disappears out of the force field. The coffin goes tumbling out of the Wolf-Rayet into the rising mass of the monstrosities. The monstrosities catch the coffin and begin doing unspeakable things to it. And as that so happens, the vision of the jungle and the monstrosities, all of it vanishes, and now you're just looking at a standard nebula.
Captain's going to stand there for a second, turn around, and go, "Where's Reed with my coffee?"
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Meanwhile, we do a jump cut to Reeve. Reeve has a French press, or what he thinks is a French press. He has coffee beans, and he's literally taking like a chef knife and chopping up the beans and says, "Okay, are you sure I'm supposed to grind them this way? I think I'm doing it wrong." And Janeway's like, "No, that's the old-fashioned way of doing it." As she takes a sip of her holographic coffee, and that's where we'll end today's session because it's funny.
Nice.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that was great.
That was the session.
Mm.
That was well worth the like month plus wait.
And we actually went for 2 hours, so even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, Lord. All
Damn
right.
straight
time
Well,
for a lot of things.
yeah. Well, all right. So Twitch, stick around because we're going to raid somebody, but YouTube, we'll see you later. Bye bye, YouTube.
Mhm.
Bye, YouTube.